What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another flipping and a money making live stream here today. I'm your host with the most, Scapenomics, and guys, let's get into it today. We're working with a 2,100,000,000 GP cash stack. The cash stack's looking quite big, guys, and honestly, we're not even using the whole thing. We have a lot of GP that is just sitting in the bank that honestly I need to put to use in maybe some sort of investment. I don't know, I have to look at something and figure it out. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and use this cash stack here today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me know in the live chat if you are. Have you made some flipping gains today? How was the weekend for you? Let me know, and let's go ahead and make some profits, guys. Now, let's close up. We have STW Benny saying, what's up, what's up? Good to see you, STW. Thank you for tuning in today. Also, guys, what did you think of the new video I put out today? I rushed to get that done yesterday night. I wanted to get it out today to share the opportunity with you as quickly as I could, so hopefully you guys did enjoy that video. But today, we're not about investing, we're all about flipping, and let's get into it, guys. Lewintake says, yo, I'm on my way home right now, and Forrest Wong popping in as well. Good to see both of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Now, let's crack into it today. Enough chit-chat. I always like to chat it up a little bit in the beginning. I don't know, I get excited. I want to talk to you guys and see what you guys have been flipping, and maybe you guys have some good ideas for me as well, right? So, anyway, we're going to have the Bandos chest plates up here first today. Only a 10K margin on them, so not really a great margin, although I do want to do them because I think they are quite a consistent flip and will make us some pretty easy GP. But of course, I'm going to follow that up with the Bandos Tacits as well. Another really good option for us to check out today. I definitely want to go look at the Justiciar armor as well today, as that did so well over the weekend that I would like to crush it today again, if possible. Now, we do have a decent margin on the Tacits here. Nothing crazy, but about a 60K margin on each of them. We'll go ahead and list those, let them do their thing. We're going to crack into the Justiciar armor sets, just like I was talking about before. I'm trying to speed list everything as quickly as I can right now, just to get it in and get it listed on the Grand Exchange. Trying to make some profit as quickly as possible. And the Justiciar sets don't look like they have a great margin, but it's definitely good enough for us to go ahead and flip. We'll list 3 of those here today. Trio Zero says, I saw the video, looks good. Should we try for charged or uncharged? Doesn't really matter, Trio, whatever your preference is, but thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Both of them are fine because you can kind of convert between the two without too much of an issue. I kind of like the charged scepters personally. I think it's a little bit better of an option, but it's really up to you. Duarte Alves popping in as well. He says, what's up, Scape? Good to see you, Duarte. And we also have Saints Van in Van popping in as well. Good to see everybody here tonight. This lovely Monday evening here today. We have Brian saying, yo, this guy looks like Saratube. That is me. My name is Saratube. We did a name change a while back. He's not my evil twin or anything like that. We have Count giving us a follow over on Twitch. Thank you, Count, man. Do appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and get some more items listed, guys. I'm thinking we do the Amulets of Torture and the Necklace of Anguish. We'll get those in and out really quick. I also would like to check out some more Justiciar pieces as well. Maybe the Justiciar face guard or the Justiciar legs like we did last time. Both worked out pretty well for us. Although the legs we weren't really able to buy that easily. So we'll have to see if that's different today. Another item I would like to check out is the Dragon Warhammer. So we're going to get into all of those flips today, see how they go. We'll go ahead and sell these back down, see if we can get a decent margin on those anguishes as well. Looks like it could be a pretty good opportunity for us here today. We're going to go list a few of these. We're looking at about a 45K margin on each Necklace of Anguish that we flip. Hopefully that margin does stay for us, and we can actually sell a couple of those off. We have Count saying the teleports that start with Zal have like a 400 to 600 GP margin, but they take a while to flip. Count, I actually love flipping those teleports, and the reason I like to do them is because they're a super passive flip, right? There's something that you just list on the Grand Exchange, and you let them sit for a while, and they do extremely well as something that you list and then walk away from the Grand Exchange from. Not necessarily an overnight flip, but just something that you're passively watching while you do some other stuff in-game. Great suggestion, though, although I don't think we're going to be doing them today. Let's go ahead and check out the Dragon Warhammer. I would like to look at the Dragon Hunter items as well. I think there's some opportunity on those that maybe we missed last time, and it would be good to see if we can actually get a few of those traded and make a couple mil on those, hopefully, but I doubt we'll make we'll probably make a little bit under a mil if we flip both the lances and the Dragon Hunter crossbows. Now, we do have a okay margin on the Warhammers. Nothing crazy, but definitely worth flipping. I also want to sell these Bandos chest plates back. If you remember, we were looking at a little bit less than a 10k margin on these, which is really not that good, but I do expect them to flip fairly quickly for their price point. We have XY also asking, when is an item too expensive to margin check? XY, very good to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. Now, if an item is, it's not really if it's too expensive to margin check, it's really if it's too low volume to margin check, right? Because I know some people that will manually margin check a twisted bow because it's a relatively high volume item compared to other gear, even though it is very expensive. And while I personally don't recommend margin checking a twisted bow, I do know that some people do, but it's more related to volume. That being said, I would say anything that's over like 50 mil, you probably don't want to margin check. And we do have one more slot open here. That is perfect to go ahead and flip the Scythe of Vitur. I'm really hoping we can get one today because we have struggled these past couple of live streams actually getting a Scythe to go ahead and flip. So we'll see if we can get one today. Hopefully make a little bit of money on that. And hopefully you guys are doing well today as well. Let me know in the live chat what you're flipping, if you did any flipping today, or if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack. I freaking love flipping in old school RuneScape, so I love talking about it and could talk about it for years, honestly, because I kind of have been talking about it for years, technically. I mean, we've been doing this for quite some time, so let's see. The sides look a little bit strange. I'm a little bit scared of listing them today just because we got burned on these the last live stream, right? So I do want to be a little bit cautious on how we go about listing these. We'll be very patient when we list this. We have A saying, what is up, bro? Good to see you, A. Thank you for tuning in today, man. Hopefully you are enjoying the stream. Definitely drop a like if you are. It really does help my content out and really helps me out a lot. We also have STW Benny. He's asking, I can't flip because I invested into Dragon Bones and the Scepters. Personally, I would never recommend investing too much cash into an item in-game, and the reason that is because if you invest too much money, then what happens is you're not able to flip actively, and that's significantly going to cut into your daily profits, as you're really hoping for one or two items to increase in price, when really you could be making much more from active flipping, even though it is a little bit more effort. We also have German saying, hi, can you give me a list of passive flips? I want to earn money while doing some Slayer. Thank you. Greetings from Venezuela. Good to see you, German. And yes, we can give you some passive flips here. Some great recommendations for you to do are the Battle Stabs. I find those to be a pretty good passive flip. The Grimy Renarweed are really great as well. Any kind of teleport scroll, so Revenant teleport scrolls, Zalandra teleport scrolls, those are all really good passive flips as well. Let me think of some more items. Dragon chain bodies are really good. Dragon plate bodies are also really good as well. That should be at least a decent list to start you out. If you're looking for more passive flips, look for items that tend to have a little bit lower of a volume, but are like resource/consumable items. That's the best way to look at it, in my opinion. What's another one? Anti-venoms are pretty good, as well as anti-fire potions. Duarte says, Primordials have a 47k margin, just for you to know. Thank you, Duarte. We'll give that a look here in a minute, potentially. Don't let me forget about it, because if there's some items that look good today, I would like to give them a check. Now, we're almost sold off with all these Bandos chest plates. We did get all the Necklaces of Anguish as well, so we're going to turn around and sell those. I was getting a little bit skeptical on those Bandos Tassets, right? Because the Tassets weren't buying for like 5-6 minutes, but luckily we just got 2 more, and that, we don't have to check up on the price of that as it's still buying. Probably let the Justiciar armor sets sit for about another, 4 minutes or so until they get to about 10 minutes, and then I'll adjust the offer on that. It's important to wait a little bit longer on those Justiciar pieces, just because they take a little bit longer, as they are a lower volume item. So they're not traded as much, which is why it takes a little bit longer for those, and why I'm not nervous to leave it a little bit longer in the first place. Now, we're going to sell these Dragon Warhammers off here. Not a problem on those. Super simple flip for us on that, so not too much to be worried about there. Chicken Dinner says, good evening, my guy. Glad to see you live again, and I say it's taking your name viewpoint I've taken your same viewpoint, excuse me, and bought 6 of today's investment. Well, good luck on that chicken dinner, man. Obviously, no guarantees on any investments that I recommend. It is completely my own analysis when I recommend these items, and I'm not trying to convince people to buy or invest in an item by any means. It is, just my recommendation on what I've seen and how I think the markets will react to a certain situation that Jagex has mentioned. And so far, it looks like it's gotten a little bit crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the blog post actually comes out and confirms the update in the future. Stu Fleece says, hello, hello. Thank you for tuning in, Stu Fleece, man. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully you're doing well, man. Good to see you in the stream today. We're going to try to make some profits today. I really want to get in on this scythe. That's like my main goal today. So if we have to be aggressive with the scythe, I don't care, because honestly, we've been trying to flip one for like the past stream and basically stream and a half, I would say, which sounds kind of weird, but we haven't been able to get one, which is such a shame. So German says, thanks, you earned that like. Thank you, German, man. Do appreciate it, dude. We have Count saying the Dragon Dart Tips had a 40-something margin yesterday. I bought 4,000 when they completely dropped, now waiting for them to go back up. Good luck on that, Count, man. Be sure not to hold them for too long, because if you're holding an item for too long and it doesn't pay off for you, then you kind of just have GP locked up in an item that could potentially keep going down. You could lose more GP, or you just cannot use your GP actively, right? So just keep that in mind as well. Now, I would like to check on, actually, let's do the Primordial Boots, right? Someone was pointing out that the Primordial Boots had a decent margin. I think it was Duarte said that. So let's go ahead and check the Primordial Boots. We'll see if we can get a good margin on them today as well. And hoping for the best on that one. We haven't had an amazing Primordial Boot flip in quite a few streams, so we'll see if we can get one here today. Anyway, let's go ahead and list about 8 of them to start. We'll see if that works out for us. Also going to adjust the Justiciar armor set, even though I said I was going to leave it until it got to 10 minutes. Kind of want to cut back on it just a little bit here. The margin's not that great, so yeah, see, we basically instantly sold it. Really interesting on that. We'll just walk away from that one. I don't think there's too much opportunity for us there to focus on. Let me just adjust my seat here. Let's see. Pi says, thank you for the Scepter vid. It is paying off very nicely right now. No problem. Always invest at your own risk, guys. I'm not trying to force you to buy any items or anything like that. I'm just taking information that Jagex has mentioned, doing my own analysis on it, and trying to show it off to you guys, because I think there's a lot of good opportunities that go unnoticed by a majority of the community, and I'd like to bring that to light a little bit. We do have 472 mil left in our stack. Before we go ahead and put another item in, I do want to go ahead and list these amulets of torture back on the exchange here. So we'll list that, let it do its thing, and they're starting to sell right off the bat. Great sign on those. Also, let's go ahead and check out another item here, which I think we'll do the Kodai Wand. I do want to do the Kodai Wand today, and we do have the stack for it, so we might as well give it a shot here. And we'll see if it's got a good margin. I wouldn't normally margin check the Kodai Wand. I think it's actually a pretty risky thing that you probably shouldn't do. But since we are on live stream and I'm kind of impatient when I'm on stream, I'm just going to manually check it anyway. Now we're going to go ahead and list 4 of these, see how it turns out for us. We do have 111 mils sitting idly in our stack, so we do need to keep that in mind. We'd like to clear up one of these other flips as quickly as possible so we can get the rest of this cash invested in the exchange. But anyway, for now, we'll just chill a little bit. And if you guys have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or anything related to flipping in Old School RuneScape, be sure to let me know. I flip 24/7 in Old School RuneScape, and I'd love to help you out. I have a fair bit of experience doing so, and I think I can give some good insight into the process, I guess. Anyway. XX says, no live comments on YouTube. There's live comments on YouTube, man. We got a live chat over there as well. Boris says, you just bought my Kodai, rip my merch. Tough, man. And, sorry, 1 second here. Little bit of a delay here. Okay, sorry, I had to figure something out. I share a Spotify account, so sometimes my friend will sign on to the Spotify and start listening to music, but I'm like, no, you can't do that. I have to stream using the songs. Anyway, so hopefully you didn't hear Elon Musk tune in there for a little bit. Whew. Give me 1 sec, guys. Just going to open my window. It's really hot in my room right now. All right, we are back. Let's flip some items today, guys. We did get the Amulets of Torture off without a problem. 184k on those, and we're currently at 129k on the profits for the Anguishes. Now, we do have 194, like I just stated, so we have enough to go ahead and put into another flip. I would like to do the Zamorakian Hastas next. I do like flipping the Zamorakian Hastas and the Zamorakian Spears because they are tied to the Dragon Hunter Lance. So when they're tied to the Dragon Hunter Lance, if the Lance goes up in price, so does the Zamorakian Hasta. So it's kind of like a subset item of something that is a little bit more expensive and a little bit more useful in game. If you didn't know, the Zamorakian Hasta is used within the Dragon Hunter Lance, so you need one to create the Lance, and that is why. I feel like you aced speech class, LOL, says Cal. Honestly, I've just been doing commentary on flipping for a while, so I have a pretty good idea of how to kind of talk about items or just keep the stream going and engaged, but anyway. Duarte says, do you like to flip burnt pages? I don't really like to flip burnt pages that much, but they are actually a really good passive flip. I know earlier in the stream we were talking a little bit about passive flipping, and I do find it to be one of the better passive flips. It's kind of flip similar to the Grimy Renard Weed, right? Where sometimes the item won't buy immediately, but if you just leave the offer there, over time that offer is going to fill out. You can usually sell it for a profit, I would say like 80% of the time, even passively. You don't really have to stay on top of it that much. Count says Jordan Belfort of old school RuneScape. Hardly, man. I do appreciate the compliment, though. He's a good-looking guy. A says, for some reason, I thought you'll stand up and we will all see you flipping with no pants. I got jeans on today. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. Usually I wear khakis when I put the suit on, but today I've got jeans on. So, you know what? You can fire me if you'd like. Anyway, guys, let's look at these items here. No luck on the tacits yet. Looking not too great on those. We got to be a little bit careful on how we manage those as of right now, just because we haven't gotten any off yet. So, little bit interesting on that. We'll go ahead and sell this back for a bit cheaper. Should be fine at this price point. And did I list it wrong, or did we profit? I think I listed it wrong. Okay, we still, I mean, we lost 24k total on the tacits. Not a big deal. I messed that one up. I think the Flipping Utilities plugin was using an old price, which messed me up when I went to relist. But anyway, not a big deal. We'll go ahead and put something else in and make up for those profits in no time, or those losses in no time, excuse me. Now, one item I would like to put in right off the bat here is the Dragon Arrow Tips. Actually, another great passive flip that you can do are the Dragon Arrow Tips. Really like flipping these things. It's one of those things like similar to, like I said before, the Grimy Renard Weed. You kind of just list it and you forget about it. So we're going to go ahead and flip these today. Only a 5 GP margin on them, but I want to do it for you guys, see if it works out for us. Also, we do have the Dragon Hunter Lances next on our list. Let's give those a shot. Maybe we can get a good margin on them. The Dragon Hunter Lances are kind of like, they're not inconsistent. They're actually pretty consistent for an active flip, but they never, like, sometimes they'll have a really good margin, and other times they'll just have the worst margin in the world. I don't really know what is up with them, but today we're getting a pretty decent margin on them, so we're going to go ahead and try to flip 4 of those right off the bat, and we'll see how it works out. That's the GE tax, says Duarte. Absolutely, man. The GE tax taking its money from us. Every flipper on their way to making billions has to pay the GE tax, and what we like to refer to as the GE tax here on this channel is anytime you lose money on a flip or you accidentally mess up your flip and lose money because of that, right? So just paying a little bit of GE tax, not a big deal. I've paid oh my gosh, I've paid plenty of tax in my time. Let me tell you, if I had to guess how much money I've lost flipping, it's probably like A billion GP. There's probably not that much, but probably like 400 mil, if I had to guess. You got to see some losses on the way to the top, man. I'll tell you that. Okay, we relisted the Scythe for about 700k above its previous price. I'm going to leave it for about 8 minutes or so. If it doesn't buy, we're going to list it upwards again. Probably bump it up another 700k or so. Really trying to find that margin. Looks like on GE Tracker, it did crash a little bit these past like 24 hours or so. It's trading for about 10 mil less than where it was yesterday. So I'm just like a little bit skeptical of trying to get in on it. Not trusting the GE Tracker graphs too much and trying to find the price on my own. And normally, if I was not flipping on live stream, I would actually pull up the official Grand Exchange website. And what I would do from the site is I would see the Scythe of Vitur. And did I say Lance? I meant Scythe. Anyway, the Scythe of Vitur, I would look at it on the official page and I would see the volume. Now, every couple of minutes, I would refresh the volume on the official Grand Exchange site. And if the volume moved at all, then I would know that someone else has traded the item. And if my item doesn't trade, I know I have the wrong price listing. Now, I have a whole video on that if you want to learn more about how to see when other players are trading items, but in summary, it's a really easy thing to do. I highly recommend you go check it out. It's called my High Margin Flipping Guide. Definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it yet. One of my better videos, if I do say so myself. Count says, what would you say are your top 3 high volume flips? Which items are usually pretty poppin'? Now, if I had to tell you my top favorite high volume flips, it would be Zulrah Scales is number 1. That's my favorite high volume flip in the game. Reason being is a lot of the time you can get 3 GP margins on the Zulrah Scales, and if you can only get a 2 GP margin, the great thing about the Zulrah Scales is the limit is 30,000 every 4 hours. So you can flip a full limit of Zulrah Scales for a 2 GP margin and still make 60k, which to a lot of players, that's a lot of money if you've got a small cash stack, especially off one flip that is extremely easy. Now, another flip I like to do is the Blood Runes. Now, these are not as good as they used to be since they changed the buying limit of them to 25,000. So, I don't recommend them as much anymore, but they're still a really solid high volume flip that you can use. And another one I like to do is the Dragon Arrows. That one's a really easy high volume flip as well. It could make you a fair bit of GP. I mean, I could list a million high volume flips, but those are just like, I would say, some of my top 3. Anyway, guys, if you are enjoying the live stream today, drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm always bringing flipping content and flipping live streams to the channel for you guys to enjoy, so hopefully you do enjoy it. Let me know what you thought about the Pharaoh Scepter price analysis today, and if you thought it was a good video, a bad video, if you agree with me, disagree with me. I'm very interested to see where the price on the Scepters goes from this point on, and just after the update is actually implemented into the game, what's going to happen to the price. Very curious to see what's going to happen. Xavier says, even if the amount traded goes up by 1 on the OSRS GE, it doesn't mean your price on the Scythe is too low. It could be someone selling it at its high price. Exactly, that's true, but if it counts as 1 trade, that means someone has to sell and buy at the same time, right? That's 1 trade. So if it's tracked as volume, right? So it's a little bit, it's not as straightforward. And if you can track volume on the site and people are trading around your margin, then you probably are listed too low, or maybe you're at limit as well. You never know. So there's a little bit more that goes into it than just besides like, hey, refresh the page, see if the volume changes. But we do go over that in the high margin flipping guide. Excuse me. Hopefully that makes sense though. Like 1 trade is like, if I sold you an item, that's 1 trade, even though I sold it and you bought it, which from your perspective is 1 trade. So if you add them together, you think it's 2, but really it's 1. Kind of hard to explain. Like 1 transaction is 1 traded item. I don't know. I think I'm just rambling on, and I think you guys understand it, but I'm just over-explaining it way too much. Anyway, let's keep going here, guys. No luck selling the Kodai ones yet, which is a little bit interesting because the margin on them was not that big, so I did expect that to go pretty quickly. We are on margin for the Justiciar face guard as well. That has a little bit better of a margin, so that's great to see. The Dragon Warhammers are selling off as well. Dragon Hunter Lances still buying. Everything looks pretty good right now. I was hoping that the Primordial primordial boots would sell a little bit faster, but we're going to let that sit until it gets to about 4 minutes, and then maybe we'll adjust that. By the way, guys, if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or anything related to flipping in old school RuneScape, be sure to let me know. I'd love to help you guys out and teach you a thing or two about money making on the Grand Exchange. And definitely drop a like if you are enjoying it. Really, really does help me out a ton, and I would super, super appreciate it. Now, I haven't done a lot of flipping this week. I didn't do any flipping on Sunday, which I wish I did, but I had to get that video recorded for you guys. So let me know what you guys have been flipping. Have markets been good for you? Have they been bad for you? I've been trying to improve my high margin flipping game a lot more. So I've had more so a focus on high margin stuff. Been trying to flip the Inquisitor stuff recently as well and getting in on that and just trying to get better at that, right? Because Inquisitor has such a low volume that it's not the easiest item to flip, although it's some of the most lucrative stuff in game that you can flip, especially if you have a lot of cash to deploy into the items. I'm Mike. OSRS says, be careful with the scythe today. I will do my best to be as careful as possible. I have a pretty conservative listing on there right now, so I'm pretty sure it won't fill at this level, but we'll see if it does. I'm going to keep knocking it up every couple of minutes or so just to see if it'll fill out for us. STW says, I saw people scamming with the topaz rings, and I tried to flip them because they had a 400 GP margin, but I never sold and lost 400k. Rest in peace to the topaz ring. Anytime people are promoting items in game, I highly recommend avoiding it because it's most likely a scam. But yes, they do have, Xavier brings up a great point. They do have a really low trade volume as well, I believe. Duarte says, Imbued Heart. We're going to do the Imbued Heart as well, but I would like to clear up a slot before we do that. And we did get another set of the Primordial Boots off, and they're still selling right now, so we're good on that. We will take our gains on the Zamorak and Hasta, though. We're going to list that back onto the Grand Exchange, and if you guys remember, we were looking at, like, I think a 40k profit or so. No, sorry, 22k profit on the Hastas, which is not that great. I do want to knock the Scythe price up a little bit more, though. I'm really trying to get a Scythe today because, honestly, I've been failing on the Scythe for, like, the past 3 streams, and I'd really like to flip a high-margin item today. It would just, like, bring my confidence back a little bit, you know what I mean? We gotta get it back. Now, we do have the Dragon Warhammers, which we haven't sold one in about 5 minutes or so, so what we're gonna do is knock that down in price just a little bit. Really not that much at all, though. We'll do about, I don't know, like 10k lower than where we were listing previously. We'll see if those sell off. I'm really trying to improve that profit per hour, though, because right now 416k is really bad gains. We need to really find some better items here. Actually, because I do want to make some more gains, we're actually going to be aggressive on our sell offers here. I'm going to knock all of our buy offers back, and that way we can go ahead and sell items, take some gains here, and try to kind of rotate into some more expensive stuff. We still have some really expensive items that we haven't done quite yet. You know, just off the top of my head, Sanguesti Staff is a great one. The Garazi we haven't done yet. The Twisted Bow we could do as well if the Scythe's not going to cooperate with us today. And we do have a little bit more money in bank if we want to get that. World of RS says, hey, Sierra, how funny was my meme? I didn't really get it, to be honest. I didn't really get the meme, but it's good to see you, World. Thank you for tuning in today, man. Xavier says, I prefer to instant buy the Scythe, sell it back for just under what you bought it for, and guess the buy price from there. That's actually a great strategy as well. The reason I don't really do it that way is because if you get caught in a fluctuation, first of all, you're going to lose a little bit more money. Second of all, you eat into your 4-hour limit if you do buy one and sell one back. It's not usually a big deal, but like, I don't know. It's just not my preference. But that's a great strategy as well. Sometimes if I buy an item instantly on accident, that is exactly what I do to get out of the situation. So it's funny that you instant buy right away to do it. But anyway. It is risky sometimes. Yeah, definitely. Anytime you're flipping something like the Scythe that holds a lot of value, it's definitely going to be a risky flip for you. 619 mil on hand. Let's do the Sanguesti, I think, next, guys. Ooh, this thing is coming down a lot in price. I'm very surprised. Now, this is another item that I would not really recommend margin checking in-game. It's just a little bit too much, too expensive and inconsistent. And wow, really bad margin on that. I mean, I guess I'll flip like a few of them, but it's just really not worth it for us. We're going to try to flip 2 to make up for the margin check cost and just get out of that item completely. Honestly, I should probably just not flip it, but I just feel like flipping it. Maybe it'll go our way, you know what I mean? Also, we'll knock down the lances a little bit as well. Profits are looking really bad right now. We're trying to turn it around today, guys, and make a little bit more GP per hour. Whoa, tons of subscriptions coming in. I just missed it. We had Fu subscribe. We have V subscribe. Hans Peter with the subscription as well. And Mohammed with the subscription as well. Welcome, everybody, to the flipping team. I don't know why all the subs happened at once. I think my subscriptions were backed up a little bit. So, interesting to see that. And sorry the music stopped again, guys. I do apologize. I didn't expect for all the subs to pop up at once, but welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in today, and let's make some bank. Profit per hour looking a little bit more, a little bit better at this point, excuse me. And I would like to get in on the Grazi since we don't quite have enough on hand to flip the Scythe, or not the Scythe, the Twisted Bow, although I wish we did. So we could check the bank, but I still think we're coming up short on a Twisted Bow flip. But luckily, the Grazi margin's looking a little bit better for us today, and we're going to try to hit that as quickly as possible. We'll get 4 listed right off the bat. Hopefully they don't buy too quickly, and we'll see if we can make a little bit of money on those. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream today, definitely drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, or give us a follow over on Twitch. It really helps us out a lot and gets my content up there with some awesome other old school RuneScape content creators. So thank you. And if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or anything related to flipping in old school RuneScape, be sure to let me know. I would love to help you out and teach you a thing or two about flipping on the Grand Exchange. SCW. Oh, Lewintag says, finally made it to my PC. Good to see you, Lewintag, man. Thank you for tuning in. Such a loyal viewer, man. It's good to see you back. We also have STW Benny saying it took 2 days ago that Dragon Bones were 1,970 and now they are 1,930. That does happen sometimes. Just sometimes a lot of excess supply comes onto the exchange. The demand isn't there and the item price comes down a little bit. Sometimes it's just natural and there's no really real rhyme or reason behind it. So maybe it's just cheap. Trying to collect money on a couple of these items here so we can get a Twisted Bow going. We do have enough now to do the Twisted Bow, so we're going to cycle into that instead of the Scythe here. Twisted Bow is a little bit more consistent, flips a little bit quicker than the Scythe, and I would like to do the Twisted Bow instead, although it looks like it's coming down a lot in price. So it could get a little bit funky trying to flip this one, guys, so strap on your seatbelts. Okay, we did an instant buy, which is a great sign. We have it listed very, very cheaply. We'll see if we can get 1 or 2 in the short term. Duarte says, how much money do you make overnight on average? Talking in percent-wise? Not much. Like, ROI percent, I would say, like, a good night of overnight flipping for me is like 7 mil. I'm not like amazing at overnight, so pretty average, but I would say 7 mil is like a good night, 5 mil is like pretty average for me. I don't know what that is percent-wise to max cash, so you might have to calculate that for me. Honestly, I don't think ROI is a great way to measure returns in old school RuneScape, because flipping like with max cash, you might get like a, you know, you could flip something for like 250k and it'd still be a tiny ROI compared to your cash stack. That's just me though. You know, I'm sure some people track most of their stuff by ROI, which is a good measure too. It's just like when you're flipping with a low cash stack, your ROI is a lot higher than when you have a larger cash stack. Unless you're doing something like a longer term investment, then it's a little bit different. We're going to do these imbued hearts next. We're going to list 6 of them, see how it goes. I think we're too low on the Twisted Bow, though, so we're going to knock this up, actually, a little bit here. A little bit more comfortable with that buy price, and it still didn't instant buy, so very happy about that. We have 87 mil in our inventory. Let's do the Dragon Darts next, and then we'll get something that flips a little bit quicker. Maybe something like the Toxic Blowpipe would be a good option for us to check out. And we've got the Dragon Darts in here. We're going to list that in there. Let it do its thing. 58 mil on hand. Perfect amount to do the Toxic Blowpipes. We can also do the Amulet of Fury. You guys probably wonder, like, why does Scapenomics flip these items when he has such a large cash tag on hand? Well, I flip them because they're easy, consistent profits, and they're really accessible to most of the player base. They're not that expensive to flip, and I find them to be quite lucrative over time. So anyway, we're going to get the Toxic Blowpipes going as well, which surprisingly have one of our better margins for us today, looking at about 31k for every single one that we buy and sell, and actually will probably flip as well. So I'm really hoping we can get some of this stuff moving, especially the larger stuff, so let's be patient. Mohammed says, hey there, I'm a new player here. I played 2 weeks and I'm still free to play, and your vids helped me get the hang of flipping. Thanks so much, man. Mohammed, man, I'm glad I helped you out. Welcome to the flipping team, and definitely since you have me on live stream, man, be sure to ask me any questions you have about flipping or money making in old school RuneScape. I know you're in free to play, you're probably struggling to get to members, and you could use every single tip and trick to get you there, and I'd love to help you out, man. But good to see you on the live stream, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if it's your first time watching. Count says, how long do you normally wait for items if they don't sell no longer than 10 minutes? Depends on the item. If it's a high volume item, usually like 5 to 7 minutes. If it's something that's a little bit lower margin, 10 to 12 minutes. If it's something that's super, not low margin, if it's low volume, I'll wait like 10 to 15 minutes. If it's super low volume, like 25 to 30 minutes. But anyway. We have Clips saying, howdy. Good to see you, Clips. Thank you for tuning in today. We have One at a Time RS popping in as well. He says, hey, stranger. Good to see you one at a time, man. It's been a minute. Thank you for tuning in today, dude, and stopping by and checking out the stream. And it's been a minute, man. Good to see you. Oh, yeah. Also, Lewinteg brings up a great point. Guys, if you haven't joined us on Discord, we do have a Discord group dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape. We have over 2,000 members now, which is pretty crazy. So if you'd like to be a part of that and learn a little bit more about flipping when I'm not live, that is definitely the place to do so. Link in the description below, or if you're watching on Twitch, you can find it in the panel below. Anyway, let's sell these Dragon Arrow tips. I think we can actually put a different item in here and make a little bit more money, just because these are taking way too long. Slow day on the exchange. Grazi's also not buying. Let's go ahead and move those around to here a little bit, see if we can get a better margin on those. It's my first time watching the stream, says Mohammed. Great, man. Well, hopefully you have been enjoying it so far, and let me know if you have. 29 viewers over on YouTube, 13 on Twitch. Guys, if you're watching over on YouTube, drop a like. It seriously helps me out a ton. Gets my content up there with some great content creators. And let's make some money today. I mean, I'm struggling a lot today to make profit for whatever reason. I feel like I have to rethink my strategy for live stream flipping, because honestly, these last few streams have not been great profit-wise, and I'd really like to make a little bit more profit per hour, especially on live stream, just to showcase it for you guys. So I don't know. I feel like we need to rethink the strategy when it comes to the live stream flipping. I really like flipping these high margin items, but it's so hard to get them to buy on stream for whatever reason. Anyway, we did get those Kodais off, which is great. I would like to maybe investigate a little bit on the Dragon Hunter crossbow. We'll have to take a look at that in a minute and see if we can actually get one of those going. Gonna readjust the imbued hearts as well. Dragon Hunter crossbow, let's see. Hopefully these things have a decent margin. I mean, I can't get a decent margin on much today. I can't even get the twisted bow to buy today, but I feel like that's a story every single live stream, so we'll have to see. We have a decent margin on the Dragon Hunter crossbow. It's really not that great, but since we are struggling for flips today, we'll just hope that it flips pretty quickly for us. We did get one pretty much immediately, so I don't know if that's something to be concerned about, but anyway, we'll go back and list the extra one in the open slot that we do have. Hope to sell that off, secure the profit quickly, and add to that profit per hour. Mohammed says, oh yeah, it's pretty good energy and I'm loving it so far. So glad to hear it. Of course, let me know if you have any questions, Mohammed, and welcome to the stream. We also have Jermin saying, today's market is horrible. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Having a super tough time getting a couple basic items bought and sold here, but don't worry, I've got a few more tricks up my sleeve to hopefully help that profit per hour out just a little bit here, and I won't give up too easily. William says, are you going to invest in RuneScape music CDs? William, I think RuneScape, or not even RuneScape CDs, but just CDs are a thing of the past, but it is good to see you, William. Thank you for tuning in today, and how are you, man? Are you enjoying the stream? Let me know, dude. But yeah, super weird market today. Not too many great margins on a lot of this stuff that we normally flip and crush on the stream. Would be nice to get a twisted bow here without too much effort, but clearly we're having a difficult time with that. I'm not going to let it sit for too long. I'm just going to keep bumping up that buy offer like every 5 minutes or so until we do buy one relatively fast, and then we'll try to turn that around and sell it for a profit. That is not normally how I would flip a twisted bow, though. If I was flipping a twisted bow off stream, I would wait like probably 10 minutes before moving the price, but I really want to trade one today. So we're going to do our best to find where that margin is and capitalize on it accordingly. I also want to do the Armadillo crossbow here today. We'll get a couple of these going. These actually had a pretty solid margin for us last live stream, so it would be good to investigate those today. See if we've got a similar situation on them today, see what's up with those, and it does look like it is a decent flip for sure. We'll go ahead and list probably about 3 of those and let it do its thing. Give me 1 second here, guys. Again, excuse me. And we do have the Armadillo crossbows as well. Let's turn around and sell those here. And we'll do, let's see, a little bit less there, and we'll try to get those off as quickly as possible. And we have Xavier saying, gotta be honest, even hiding your margin, if someone is really motivated to check your history, you can see the margins and undercut you. I do know that, Xavier, except there's really no easy way for me to implement margin hiding, even with, like, because I have to go to history, right, to pull up the items again. So I am aware that it is an issue, but we do have a solution that is being created, but it won't be implemented for maybe another month or 2, I believe. So we have to wait a little bit longer for a solution on that, but it's not a big deal. What I did do is I made it so you can't go back on the live stream anymore to look at old stuff. So hopefully people just keep missing it in the short term, and we can just get past it. Jay Hefner says, a little late to the stream. How have the flips been going? Absolutely horrible flips today. Barely at 1 million GP, 41 minutes in. I can't get anything going. Markets are just so stale today. And this happens occasionally, but it never happens this badly. I mean, we haven't gotten anything today, which is just horrible. I mean, it's embarrassing to be 41 minutes in and not have a mill at this point, although we are very close, but it's like, man, we're struggling really hard today. But you know what? It's not all, blue skies ahead when it comes to flipping. A lot of the times you're going to have a little bit of difficulty. You're going to have days that are just not as profitable as other days, and that's just the road to being a flipper, and you can't expect consistency all day long, 24/7. So you do need to be aware of that when you start your flipping journey, I would say. Going to get a couple more Armadillo crossbows going just because it was pretty easy profit for us. And we did get the toxic blowpipes off, which helped us out a lot. Also, let's raise the price on the twisted bows as well. Pretty aggressive price increase on that twisted bow, so we'll see if we can actually get one this time. We do have the Grazis that bought up as well. Let's turn around and sell these. I do imagine the margin is actually going to hold on these, if I had to guess, just considering how long they took to buy. And finally, we got a twisted bow, hopefully for not too high of a price there. I do know where I think this thing is trading around now, which is a good sign. But I would like to try and get it off for a little bit higher than where I think it might be trading around. We'll see what happens. Do some Basilisk Jaw, says it's Mango. Steve says, flip the Pharaoh Scepter? I don't know, boys. What do you think? Because I made a video on the Pharaoh Scepter. It might be a little bit controversial if I flip a few. If you guys want me to, though, I can maybe give a crack at it. It's Mango says, do some basilisk draws. We can definitely do some basilisk draws. And Jay says, good days and bad days with flipping. Absolutely. We have Stoof, I know, really wants me to do it. Forrest Wonk wants me to do it. Okay. If we get a couple more confirmations in the chat, I'll do them. Okay, Jay wants me to do it. But while we're waiting for that, we have German saying, I did 40K for the first hour, then 1.5 mil on the second. 100 mil cash stack. Was so amazed that only 40K, worst session ever. Okay. Anyway, flip it. Okay, we can flip them. So with the Scepter, what I'm actually going to do for these is I'm going to flip the Pharaoh Scepter 3. And it's really personal preference of yours. This is probably going to cost a lot of money for us to margin check. So, I mean, I can take a guess at where this thing's trading around, but I don't know where this thing is. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll just margin check one. You have to YOLO sometimes, you know what I mean? Okay, standard. Very nice. Go in, flip, listed. 10, boom. Easy, quick. Okay, you see me, I've got the freaking ninja lightning skills when it comes to listing items, okay? Nobody does it faster than me. I secure profits faster than anybody. First in, first out, profits, easy game. Kidding, of course. Do it or I ban Jay Hefner. Don't ban Jay, man. He's a good guy. It's undeserved. William says, the bots need a week to get inventory after the bot nuke. That's why it's not at 1 mil yet. Yo, those bots are gonna get freaking screwed, man. Like, those, you know, people owning massive Pharaoh Scepters farms must be freaking out a little bit right now. We're gonna knock the Twisted Bow down in price a little bit because I want to cycle back in at a lower price, hoping they do sell at this price level. Probably got too aggressive on the buy offers. You know what? I'm pretty used to that at this point. But anyway. Let's do the mahogany planks in the extra slot that we do have. Mahogany planks are a really good high volume flip, but only for a little bit larger of cash stacks. I would say you could flip the mahogany planks with about 50 mil would be when I'd recommend trying to flip them. And they're just a really, well, of course, every time I say they're a good high volume flip, they just have a 1 GP margin. So maybe not today, but there's plenty of other good high volume flips we can do as well in the meantime. And that's going to be the Amethyst Crystal next. We'll check out these. And we do have a decent margin on the crystals, about 7 GP or so. We'll list that, let it do its thing. Also, Dragon Hunter Crossbow not working out for us. Are you surprised, though? Because I'm not. Absolutely horrible day on the exchange today. But we'll go ahead and list in for a little bit higher. Hope to get another one of those. We can only get one at a time, unfortunately. Also, Imbued Hearts struggling as well. Margins probably run up a little bit on that. Stoof says, time to dump my scepters now that he's buying. Stoof, okay, you know what's funny? Is Stoof is the nicest guy to me on Discord, okay? I message him, we talk all the time, he's fine. As soon as he comes on these dang streams, he just trolls me all the time. Okay, it's 24/7 trolling, okay? Why can't you treat me consistent, Stoof? Okay, it's a bad relationship between us. Xavier says they were like 2.8 not too long ago. We're listed a fair bit above that. William says, do you check high alc value as well on items that I'm flipping, or like what are you referring to as far as high alc goes? I mean, like if in specific investment scenarios, maybe I would check high alc, but when I'm normally flipping, not too much. Shuey, I'm not gonna do a Shuey, boys. Hey, you had to be there, okay? Simple as that. I can't get on the right side of this Twisted Bow for the life of me. Been flipping for almost 50 minutes. Horrible profit today. I can't get anything going. These, you know, I think my career as a flipper is dying. Clearly, I'm washed up, man. Can't make a dang profit to save my life. Feels bad, man. Worst flipper NA. It is what it is. XX Iron says, does anyone have any idea why Ranar seeds are up over 10k the past 3 weeks? Well, honestly, I have no idea, but it does look like Grimy Ranar weed is recovering as well as normal Ranar weed, so could just be some natural recovery. But you have to keep in mind that Ranar weed was beat down pretty significantly. If I had to take a random guess, I think it's maybe some hype for the combat achievements, but considering that PVM items, especially the high-end ones, are not reflecting that sentiment, maybe that's not right. Xavier says, ever flip the orbs off stream? I get awesome margins on the volatile and Eldritch pretty regularly. I do. I flip them a lot, actually, but recently, again, not been flipping them at all. My main focus has been like Twisted Bow and Sides, just trying to get those down as much as possible, but I love flipping the volatile orb. I think it's like one of my favorite higher margin flips to actually go ahead and capitalize on. No Honking says, Prime membership bots used to thieve master farmers. Of course. How could I forget that? So dumb. Anyway, thank you, No Honking, for the insight on that. What if I honk, though? Can I honk? Or is it no honking allowed? The questions we all ask each other. Anyway, we're going to knock the Grazis down just a little bit more here. No luck on the Twisted Bow yet. Kind of sketchy on that, not going to lie. But we'll knock it down a little bit more. We're still in a profitable range, so it's nothing to be too concerned about. I think we just bought it for a little bit too high in price. We're going to do the Dragonfire Shields next. Still no luck on the side, or not the sides, the Scepters as well, but maybe that's something we just have to be very patient on. I know the video made the Scepters go into a very bullish movement. That's not what I intended. I think if you are just dumping money into the Scepters blindly, you're kind of missing the point of the entire investment. You're not really thinking about this, the critical, like... You're not thinking about the meaning behind the investment, right? And I know I explained it in the video with Jagex actually banning or putting restrictions on Pyramid Plunder and how that's actually going to affect the supply in the long term. Think long term, guys. Don't think short term opportunity on these things because okay, yeah, sure, the Scepter might shoot up 500k in the short term, but if you think about what will actually happen to the supply of the Scepter over time, well, where do you think it's going to go if they ban every single Scepter farming bot? No extra supply, probably gonna go up if demand stays the same. If you cut supply and demand stays the same, that means big green, boys, big green. We have Mies saying, hey, good to be back here yet again. Have a great evening, man. Good to see you, Mies. Thank you for tuning in today. 400 mil in the stack, ready to flip with here. And I'm trying to think, like, I'm washed up, man. I can't get any flips anymore. I do want to do something that's relatively expensive, but... Let's do the Armadillo Chain Skirt. I think that's a good one. Oh, we got the Twisted Bow off. Amazing. It only took 10 years, boys. Now, by the time that thing flips, I'll have a dang beard, man. And that, if I'm saying that, that's saying something, okay? Because I cannot grow hair for the life of me, man. Like, this is literally like 3 days progress. I don't know what to tell you. I got low testosterone or something, man. Why am I talking about this? Let's go ahead and get that Twisted Bow back in. This time we're going to go back in for a little bit lower of a price because I do know, or I think I know at least, where this thing might be trading around. We'll list that, let it do its thing. Also, we did check the margin on the Armadillo Chain Skirt, and it wasn't that good. So we're going to do the Ancestral Robe Bottom and see if we can get a decent margin on those. Oh, Twisted Bow. We got to turn it around, man. It's very, very, very quick here. Okay, we'll go ahead and sell this for... Oh, yeah. Now, give me the profits now, baby. Come on. Watch, now the Twisted Bow never sells. We can't make anything on it. That's what's going to happen, okay? I'm calling it right now. Maybe I shouldn't be so doubtful. Maybe I should be very enjoyed and happy about us actually getting a Twisted Bow to begin with. We did get the Grazis off, which is great. We're going to actually go back in and list them for a little bit lower here and see if we can actually get a couple more. Because we can squeeze 2 more, that'd be a good margin on those. Stu Flea says, man, you have so many subs, full-time streamer when? You know, it's crazy how many subs we have over on Twitch now. Like, it's kind of like unbelievable in a sense, just considering that I wasn't even thinking of making a Twitch to begin with. And just the reception of all these live streams and you guys coming in and saying you enjoy it is amazing. And now finally we can get a Twisted Bow off. My goodness, man. It's been a while since we've actually had some decent trades on stream. So regardless, let's go ahead and trade this Twisted Bow back and forth a couple times and get some good profit, guys. Not a crazy margin on it right now, but it is good enough for us to take it since we haven't been able to get any going recently. How much did you make on the first bow? Like literally like 150K, I think. I don't want to show where it's trending around, so I can't exactly tell you, but I sold it for like 100K more than where we bought it. But what that actually gave us in information-wise is it actually let us go ahead and see where the Twisted Bow was actually selling around and we still profited on the item, right? So that first Twisted Bow, very small profit. For these Twisted Bows going forward, we should be able to make a little bit more. Anyway, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please leave a like or give us a follow over on Twitch. It really does help me out a lot. By the way, if you are not with us on Discord, we have a Discord group dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape, and we'd love to have you there. You can use !Discord in the chat to actually see the Discord link, or you can find it in the panel or description below. We'd love to have you guys in that Discord group. I mean, I think a lot of people can learn a lot of things from just tuning into that Discord and seeing what's up in there. Honestly, I think a lot of people in the live chat who are in the Discord can vouch for it and say how effective it's been for them, or just how much it's taught them about flipping, and we really love the community we have in there. I mean, we have over 2,000 people in there right now, which is freaking insane. Thank you guys for the hype on that. We also have a New York Ancient coming in with the follow, man. New York, thank you for giving us the follow. We have Lay Dorito Face as well with the follow. Forgot to mention you, man. Good to see both of you, man. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream today. Be sure to ask any questions about flipping or money making in old school RuneScape, and we'll get that answered for you. Also, Scepter, not buying. Just took our margin check and decided not to buy on us, huh? We'll knock it up a little bit here. Hopefully, we don't get dumped on, but sometimes that's the name of the game, boys. Sit. It is what it is. XX Elk says, what are you using to flip? Do you mean what plugin I'm using? If you're talking about the plugin, it is a plugin called Flipping Utilities. My favorite plugin on RuneLite, literally the best thing in the game. And I vouch for this thing 24/7. Flipping Utilities, amazing, man. Lay Dorito Face says, I YOLO'd my bank on Pharaoh Scepters a week ago. You must be pretty happy now, man, let me tell you. You owe him a sub then, Lado? Nobody owes subscriptions, man. If you want to subscribe with it, maybe you got a Twitch primer. Maybe you can drop a Twitch primer. Hey, that's all I'm saying. But because, hey, that comes from straight from Daddy Bezos, okay? So you don't have to feel guilty about that one, all right? But regardless, if you want to sub, I'd love it, and it would help me out a lot. Do appreciate it. But obviously, at your own, what do you call it? Disposal? Is that what you even say? I don't know. What's the English for that one? New York Ancient said, you and Queen Saraha helped me out so much. Keep up the good work, dude. New York Ancient, man, thank you so much for the good words. I'm glad we helped you out, man. And what about the content has been the most helpful? Has it been the live streams? What has really made it for you so that you've been able to learn and become a better flipper yourselves and start to like build that cash stack up? What was the driving factor behind that? 450 mil on hand, plenty of good items left for us to do, and I want to crack into the Dragon Claws a little bit, guys. Now, we're getting a little bit greedy on the second Twisted Bow, trying to sell it for a little bit higher than we did previously, so, hey, maybe it'll sell in a little bit, maybe it won't. Only going to let it go for about 5 minutes or so we're not going to get too crazy on it. Also, Dragon Claws, not looking too great, but we'll flip a couple of them, why not? Discretion. There you go. Discretion. The English language is getting away from me today, okay? Trio Zero says, how do you get the OS Buddy traded prices? Trio, if you go to a site called GE Tracker, I have a link in the description for that if you'd like to check it out. That will give you the OS Buddy traded prices. Keep in mind, though, that OS Buddy does not track every trade in-game, and that is because most people use RuneLite these days, right? So OS Buddy is not always the most accurate piece to get information off of. That being said, if you're looking for items over a longer period of time and not necessarily an active flip or anything like that, then yes, it's going to be a little bit better for you to use a site, and GE Tracker is going to be a little bit more effective for you. Anyway, let's do the Ancestral Rope Top as well. The Rope Bottom looks pretty good, so we might as well try the Rope Top here too. Although we haven't bought another Rope Bottom in about 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Not super concerning. I'm not too concerned on that yet. We can let it sit for a little bit longer. Jay Hefner also says you can check the OS Buddy prices in the box in the GE plugin next to RuneLite. Didn't know that, actually. Thank you, Jay, for clearing that up, man. Do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and knock the Twisted Bow back down again. Again, we're still going to make profit on it, so it's not a big deal. I was just trying to squeeze out a little bit more profit on it, but looks like that's not really going to happen for us today, guys. You know what? We'll take what we can get, okay? We're not going to get cocky with trying to make profits here. We'll just take the consistent profits. We'll get it in. We'll get it out. Easy as that. Douglas Lockhart says, Superscape, I price checked an item I knew I shouldn't have yesterday. It was a 10 mil loss. Needless to say, I didn't make it back. Yo, come and get an F in the chat for Douglas, man. Dude, I know that feeling, bro. You accidentally margin check something and it's crashing on you. You get in, you get out, and it's an ugly situation. I did that on live stream on the Sanguesti stabs like a while back, maybe, 3 months ago or so, and it cost us like 6 mil. It was the only live stream I've ended in a negative profit, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. Sup, not super. That's what I thought you were saying, but I didn't want to, put any words in your mouth, man. Let's adjust the Ancestral Road Bottom here a little bit. Just give it a slight price bump in the upward direction. We have Count saying, any advice for a 15 mil cash stack? Count, yes, I've got a lot of advice for you for a 15 mil cash stack. If you're flipping with 15 million, you want to focus on high volume items only in the beginning. Because usually if you're flipping with, hold on, let me get this listing correct. If you're flipping with, I don't want to mess it up. If you're flipping with a 50 mil cash stack, you should focus on high volume items because you're likely pretty new to flipping as you don't really have a large cash stack to start with. That being said, items that are some great high volume items for you to try are Monkfish, Mana Rays, Sharks, Air Orbs, Battle Stabs are great as well, Rune Darts, Adamant Darts, House Teleport Tabs, Blood Runes, Law Runes, Nature Runes, Death Runes. Should be a decent list for you to start out with. Zulrah Scales, don't forget the Zulrah Scales, really good one as well. Revenant Ether can be okay if you can get a 2 GP margin or more on it, just because it has that 30k per hour limit as well. Only flip high volume in the beginning to get your super safe gains, learn how flipping really works, and then you can start to branch out into some higher margin stuff. Maybe start with like something like the Seer's Ring after that, or the Warrior's Ring. And try to start trading that really cheap gear stuff. Helmet of Needs not, even though that's not going to make you a lot of money, it's just going to teach you how those different items work. It was the Dragon Kite Shield. Frick, man. That thing has just low volume. That's why the margins are super big on that. You win some, you lose some, as long as the outcome is income. That's a tongue twister for you right there, man. I kind of like that saying, though. It's pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and sell these Amethyst crystals back. I would like to get these off so we can actually clear up this inventory slot here. Luckily, the profit per hour is looking a little bit better right now, and we just got Dragon Claws dumped on us. Really love to see it. +1 in the chat for getting dumped on. Absolutely incredible. Never had a more joyous experience in my entire life. So... we'll go ahead and list them back, see if we can make any profits here. And anyway, let's secure that bag and get into some more flipping. Stoof says, thanks for supporting my dump. Stoof, stop, man. You're trolling, bro. Stoof is the biggest troller, man. Raver says, just bulk flip and have people give you free money on World 2 feels amazing, man. You could bulk flip. I'm not someone who really likes bulk flipping that much, but I know a lot of people who do like bulk flipping. A lot of people who have made legitimate massive banks from bulk flipping with pretty low effort as well. The thing with bulk flipping, though, is it requires large startup investment. So, hey, if you got an angel investor, you can get in on that bulk flipping. If you don't, well, you got to start from the bottom up, and that's what we're here doing today, although we've come quite a far way from the bottom. Jay Hefner says, phone died, but 22 viewers. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying it. Seems like the feedback today has been very receptive, so thank you guys for tuning in. Seriously, it's awesome. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, go check out my Discord group, a link in the description below, or the panel below. We have a Discord dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape, so we'd love to help you out and teach you a thing or two in that Discord group. And of course, if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or anything related to flipping in old school RuneScape, ask me on live stream. We'd love to help you out. Now, we do have the Dragon Claws, which are selling, so looks like we got the best of Stoof there. I don't know what to tell you, man. Oh, and they're selling pretty quickly as well. But anyway, Scepter buying, panic. Ravers is inciting hype in the chat. We'll put it that way. Okay, Drake started from the bottom. Now we're here, says Lewintag. Hey. It wasn't a, I think I have the right to say it, okay? It was not you know, it took a lot of effort to get here, man. Blinking says, we back. Thank you for the help earlier. Good to see you, Blinking. He says, hashtag Johnny in the Discord. Oh, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in today, man. And hopefully I gave you a little bit of guidance on Discord earlier about what, you know, what to do with your specific situation. Don't want to expose it to everybody, so... Tasty OSRS says, I know someone with 300 Elder Malls. Do you think that's a good investment? Tasty, man. It's good to see you, bro. Again, it's funny because in the, like, investing and flipping community, Elder Malls have kind of become a meme because here's the thing is people try to manipulate Jagex into updating certain items so their merch goes through, right? And Elder Malls are kind of a meme because then obviously they can make massive profits. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But so Elder Malls has been a massive meme because so many people have been trying to do it that is extremely obvious by the Jagex team, and they are not going to change the Elder Mall. If they change the Elder Mall, I would be shocked because Jagex doesn't really like merchers that much, and it is probably the most obvious merch attempt that I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, you go into any Q&A live stream and you'll see some Chads talking in the chat and saying, hey, when are you going to buff the Elder Mall? Literally every single live stream. Like, guys, you've been trying for a year and a half, okay? It's not going to happen. Ravers G says, not the capital needed. Twitch is going to get, Twitch is going to overtake YouTube for sure. Wow, man. That's crazy. Anyway. You can stop now. You got 30 viewers on Twitch. No, I don't, man. Do I really? Do I really? Because the thing is, Twitch on my end, through my streaming client, doesn't update immediately. So it says I only have 22. Anyway, we're going to keep streaming here. But regardless, let's go ahead and sell this Ancestral Robe Bottom back. Profits right now, in a questionable situation. Not too bad. Okay, it's still sold for a profit. I thought I messed it up. So we're good on that. Unfortunately, we haven't bought any more Ancestral Robe Bottoms yet. I'm not going to go back in on those just because the margin's not that big. But we will cycle back in on the Twisted Bow, guys. Let's see if we can get a good Twisted Bow going here. I do want to actually list it where we were listing it previously, right? So we can actually buy and sell one and make at least a little bit of money on it. So we're going to go back in for our original price listing and hopefully buy another one, guys. We also have 507 mil on hand. So it's definitely a lot of money to put into another item here. So let's check it out. I don't know what to flip. We could do the Justiciar leg guards. We haven't done those yet. We did do the Justiciar face guards earlier in the stream, but now we haven't done any. So let's crack at it. Let's get some good flips going here, and I'm hoping the leg guards pay off for us. I do have a lot of other items on like my mental list, I guess, that we could go ahead and check out, but I don't know. We'll have to see here. I guess we can go ahead and try the Elder Malls, just because it's kind of a meme, right? So we'll go ahead and give those a flip. But this Twisted Bow is really working out for us today. It's so funny because the Twisted Bow has not cooperated for us for the past, like, I don't even know, like 4 streams, and all of a sudden now it wants to print for us. So hey, we're definitely going to take the gains on those, and we'll see if we can make a little bit of money on that. Now, the Ancestral Rope Tops as well, they came in, but they sort of stopped buying as well. Might be a little bit of competition on those. I mean, they instant sold, so okay. And we profited. And the Twisted Bow, again, tons of profit coming in right now. Cannot complain about it, man. And let's see how much we can make here. Give me 1 sec, guys. Got to pull something else up on the side here. I want to see if we can find another item that maybe is going to give us some opportunity here. But the thing is, I don't want to focus too much on high margin items, although they are working out really well for us right now. There is a ton of other stuff that we can still flip, but regardless, let's go ahead and keep going. Maybe we can do something like Superior Dragon Bones might be a decent one. It's going to put a little bit of our cash stack to work here. It's going to run us about 75 mil to flip the limit of the Superior Dragon Bones. Definitely something that is a little bit more high volume compared to a lot of this stuff we've been flipping, but we will for sure cycle back in on that Twisted Bow as well, just because finally it's been working out for us. I think we flipped, what, 4 this live stream so far, so plenty left to flip. And that Twisted Bow, it's at a very stale margin, right? We did try to stretch the margin out a little bit to make more profit, but it wasn't really working out too well for us, right? So we're going to go back in and list it right on the same margin as before. And we'll let that do its thing. Now, trust me, the Twisted Bow is not an item you want to list incorrectly. Killer Kiss says, do you learn flipping like private, or do you have a group to see where to buy and sell? No, I mean, flipping is all on your own. You can learn what items are good to flip and what items are bad to flip over time. I mean, personally, for me, I just, know what to flip through experience and basically flipping every amount of cash you could in the game all the way to max cash. I mean, guys, achieving max cash for me was a very recent achievement. Like, we just hit max cash very recently. So, it is still very new to me, flipping with max cash and adjusting to that and seeing the actual way to make the most profit per hour with, oh God. Not like this, boys, with max cash. So we're still learning how to do it, but we do know where the site is selling for because we instantly bought it. So that's pretty obvious, but we'll go ahead, and I was hoping we would have enough cash to buy another one, but we don't. So we're going to have to wait for that site to sell. Hopefully it sells pretty quickly and we can make a decent bit of profit on that. Anyway, guys, hopefully you've been enjoying the stream. We're trying to make some money here today. Drop a like if you are enjoying it. Give us a follow over on Twitch as well if you're having a fun time. And check us out on Discord if you want to learn more about flipping or money making in old school RuneScape. We have a Discord of over 2,000 people who are learning how to flip and make money in old school RuneScape, and you can be one of them, so we'd love to have you. Lewinteg says, clan flipping is like driving up items against the rules now, isn't it? Like pre-EOC, there was this clan chat. Yes, so you cannot manipulate item prices, okay? This is a huge, huge deal. If you are manipulating item prices in-game with other players and collaborating, then you are actually driving price and demand on an item and rising the price. And that's like a pump and dump scheme if you've ever heard of it in real stocks. And you're not allowed to do that. That's against the rules. That being said, you are allowed to analyze items and share your opinions with other players, but you cannot tell players, hey, buy at this specific price and sell at this specific price. That's manipulating markets and is against the rules. Let's go ahead and sell these Twisted Bows back. Still looking like a pretty good margin on those. I'm a little bit upset about the scythe, to be quite honest. But you know what? Sometimes you got to pay that GE tax, and that's what we'll be doing here today. Definitely no shortage on the tax today. We'll put it that way. Let's do the Tormented Bracelets in the open slot that we do have. It's going to be a little bit quicker of a flip, although it's still a gear-related item, so it's still going to be a decent flip for us. Not an amazing margin on it here today, but we'll go ahead and list a couple of these. We'll see how that goes. God, I don't have enough money. Okay, there we go. And the Twisted Bow selling off as well. The Twisted Bow is just ripping through the exchange today. I don't really know what is up with it, but the margin's quite small, but we're flipping it really, really quickly, and it's really adding to our profit per hour. All we got to do is get in on this scythe margin, and we're going to be making literal bank today. So I'm hoping that's going to come through for us. Hopefully the site sells pretty quickly. I'm going to knock it down here in about 2 minutes if it doesn't sell, just because I don't want to catch it during a crash. We're also going to put one of our favorite items up, guys. Yes, that's right, these Zulrah scales. And oh my god, this Twisted Bow is going nuts. We'll definitely take the gains on those, although they're not that large. And unfortunately, the Zulrah scales are not going to work out for us as well. So let's go ahead. Oh, we have a Twisted Bow already. Duh. Let's go ahead and sell this Twisted Bow back. For some reason, Flipping Utilities is not picking up my new sell price, so we have to manually adjust that every time. But it is not a big deal. And let's see where the Scepter's going at, guys. Interesting. Margin's actually not that big on the Scepter right now. I thought it would be a little bit bigger than this. Just because there's a lot of volatility in the Scepter right now, a lot of action on it, and definitely a lot of people driving the hype behind it. Scythe seems super low right now. Could go lower, though. Go to the Discord, there's some lists. Yes, Trio Zero, there are some flipping lists within the Discord group as well. I do have a public flipping list that is available for anyone to check out. So if you're new to flipping and you need a couple item ideas, that is a great place to start. Also, I've got a ton of videos on my channel that can help you out too, with like the bare bones of flipping, right? Like whether you're brand new or you have a certain amount of cash in game or you're trying to get better at flipping, whatever it is, I bet I have a guide for you on it. I think a lot of players who are a little bit wealthier enjoy like the high margin flipping guides that I have, while new players can find, you know, tips from the 10 to 100 mil flipping series or the basics of flipping video or the 10 mil flipping video. We have 2 10 mil flipping guides. I mean, come on, what channel's got 2 of them? Come on, we got you covered on that. Also, we have like a 50 mil flipping guide, 100 mil flipping guide. Do we have, I think we might even have a 500 mil flipping guide. I don't really remember. Scythe is on a downward trend. We got to get rid of this thing, man. Anyway, we're going to take probably a little bit of a loss on this, but we will get it off for about a 200k loss at this current price level. Hopefully, we can get it off and for no more than that. Scythe seems super low. Oh, we already read that one. Anyway, German says, what do you do when you instant buy something like that Scythe? So if I list a Scythe by accident and it instantly buys for higher than where I think it is actually trading, what I'll actually do on the item is I'll sell it back for around the same price I bought it. Usually a little bit less, so that way I can get my item off first and secure that margin. Now, once the item sells off, I'll know where the high price of that item is, right? Because I bought it for a high price, I'm going to sell it back for a high price. Then I usually guess like where the item is buying underneath that. So for the Scythe, I know usually the margin on them is around 700k to 1 million GP. So I'll list a Scythe for maybe like 800k to 900k less and try to buy back in at a cheaper price. This lets me capitalize on that margin and make some sweet gains. So even if you instant buy something, it's not the end of the world. The only time it's the end of the world is when you instant buy something and then it starts going down on you, like this Scythe might be doing, but we'll have to see, man. Twisted Bow has been buying and selling in like 10 seconds. Yeah, it's been wild. I mean, this is like the longest we've had a Twisted Bow since it started flipping, so interesting to see that. Also, the leg guard's not really doing anything. Not too much to say about that. Probably just going to try to sell this off, move on to a different item. Hopefully it does sell relatively quickly. I don't want to really flip these Scepters anymore. They're just not really making too much profit. We'll still make a slight profit on it, probably. And there's a Scepter. Sold really quickly. Very happy about that. Koneinken says, I mean, if I have the money for multiple Twisted Bows, why would I bother flipping? Well, the thing is, if you have money for multiple Twisted Bows and you want to flip, well, then you're going to be able to make a significantly larger profit per hour than someone who's got a smaller cash stack that wants to flip. Now, it's the only reason I really like flipping is it is my goal in RuneScape to get to 10 billion GP. I really want to get to 10 bill. I'm really motivated to make money in game. No, before you ask, I've never sold gold in the game. I've never real world traded. Jagex, feel free to investigate my account if you want. But you can even watch like my progress throughout so many streams. I mean, this is not the first stream we've done, and it sure will not be the last stream. I mean, we've gone from 9 million GP all the way to max cash, and we're just going to continue that trend until we get 10 billion GP. So drop a follow, drop a subscription, drop a like, whatever you want if you want to continue to watch the progress, and one day we will be in that double-digit billions club. Saints fan in Van says 33 viewers on Twitch. That's the most I've seen here. Yo, what is up, people on Twitch? How you guys doing? Also, people on YouTube, shout out to you guys as well. I know you guys are hanging in there too. And definitely drop a like, drop a follow, whatever it is, and join us on Discord. That's that's honestly what I recommend. Like, if there's one thing that I could recommend to you to get you started on your flipping journey so you can make some money, is literally join the Discord group. I mean, there's people of all flipping levels in there. We got literal pros, like geniuses, who can investigate markets like crazy. We've got people with intermediate experience with 500 mil cash stacks or 100 mil cash stacks. We have beginners with 10 mil cash stacks, with 1 mil cash stacks, whatever it is. We can definitely give you some guidance and help you out and teach you how to flip. Astra Delta says, I bought 4 Elysians at 1.13 bill yesterday. Another 1.17 bill today. Holy moly, man. You're bringing in those gains, baby. Congratulations on that, man. Dude, it's crazy. That Elysian Spirit Shield has just been shooting in price. Like, I mean, I would not be surprised to see it at 1.2 bill shortly. Scape is secretly making 10 mil an hour and putting everything in his 401k. Where do you come up with these ideas, Jay? Where do you come up with these ideas? If only, man. If only. Like, if RuneScape was real life, like, I'd be in a good spot. But it's not. So, here we are, in the same old apartment, still flipping the same items, guys. Anyway, we're at 3.7 mil an hour right now, 4.8 mil in total, about 1 hour and 19 minutes in. Doing pretty solid so far. We did sell off the Scythe for about what was the loss on that? We did get the Twisted Bow off as well, very nice. The Scythe was a 204k loss. Actually, not that bad. Now we know where it's trading. Hopefully, we can make up for those gains. And we can get one more Twisted Bow bought and sold, guys. So we're going to try to get one more off, and we can cap off the profits on that today. Again, not a huge margin on the Twisted Bow, but what I like about it right at this moment in time is it's trading extremely quickly. And it's always good to trade an item back and forth very, very quickly on the Ren exchange, especially if it's a higher margin item. It's either you're going to trade it really quick back and forth for a smaller margin than normal, or you're going to get a huge margin and it's going to take a little bit longer. Personally, for me, I like the quick margins. I like the quick trades. It seems a lot better to me because I like to get in and out of my flips as quickly as possible so I can cycle on to other items. 10 bill worth of ashes yesterday. Interesting. Duarte says, why don't you try 4x? I'll probably get burned if I try 4x. I mean, honestly, I have my day job. I just stick with it. I mean, it would be interesting to try, but I don't really have an interest in it. Still 10 bill today gains. Hey, that's one way to look at it, man. Oh, I forgot to shout out the followers. Thank you, Slayer2750, for the follow over on Twitch, man. Do appreciate it. And T-Man, thank you for the follow as well, dude. Really do appreciate it. Welcome to the flipping team, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Do appreciate it. Xavier says, dang, the sites were popping off. Buy sell within 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, I'm trying to get in and buy one right now, but I'm not having a ton of luck, so. Freeman OSRS says 5 mil profit this session. Dang. Actually, like, 5 mil profit's really not amazing for us. I mean, it is really good, but we've had much better streams in the past. Who remembers like the 10 mil stream we had? That was crazy. I think it was a drinking stream too. That was like months ago though. That was a great session. Xavier, I personally never flipped the Harm Orb. I think the Harm Orb is a little bit too risky for me. It just holds way too much value. I get too scared when I go to flip that thing, man. Trio Zero says 37 people watching. Holy moly, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Scapenomics. I make flipping and money-making content here over on YouTube as well as Twitch for the live streams. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it, man. I mean, I love doing this. And if you have any questions about what to flip, definitely let me know. Definitely been a decent session today as well. Currently capping off at about 5.4 mil. We'll be going for a couple more minutes as well. We do have 248 million GP to work with here, guys. What I'm going to do actually is spread this out across a bunch of high volume items and try to get some quick trades in to cap off some profit. Also, we do need to adjust the superior Dragon Bones as well, and the Twisted Bow coming in here as well. We're going to turn around and sell that, get it off as quickly as possible, flip it up, and walk away with our gains on that item alone. I mean, that's made us 3.5 mil in itself, right? So, decent session on that so far. Let's go back and try to get these sharks in here. I mean, the sharks are looking at a really good margin right now, so I'd like to get in on those. Twisted Bow sold off. Easy profits on that. 4 mil on the Twisted Bows in total. Hopefully, we can get a scythe going as well. Me says, I don't even play RS anymore, but I'm still checking in when I still see you streaming. Meese, man. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Why'd you step away from old school RuneScape, man? It's a great game. Imbued Heart was my best a few weeks ago. Any room on those at the moment, says Scott. We actually already did the Imbued Hearts. They didn't have a great margin for us today, unfortunately, but they are one of my, I wouldn't say like top tier items, but I do love to flip them on a normal session as well. Let's do the Ancestral, let me see. Let's do the Ancestral Robe, or not the robe bottom, or top. We'll do the hat. We'll try and do the hat here. The hat seems extremely low in price for some reason. I don't know why it's under 10 mil. I don't think I've ever seen it this low. So, interesting to see it come down so far in price. Considering that the rest of the Ancestral set, I don't think has dropped as much. So, anyway, interesting on that. Tormented Bracelet here. Let's go ahead and sell those back. We actually were sitting on the Tormented Bracelets for way too long. So, should have adjusted that a little bit sooner. But regardless, yeah, maybe we'll knock up the margin on the scythe a little bit here, guys. Scott Fat giving us a follow over on Twitch. Thank you, Scott, man. Welcome to the flipping team. Let me know if you're having a good time. Let me know if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack. And on top of that as well, join us on Discord, man, if you want to learn more about flipping and money making in old school RuneScape. I'd love to teach you a thing or two about flipping, and I think it could help you out a lot by joining that Discord. That was like the worst Discord advertisement I've ever seen in my life, man. Anyway. Let's try to maybe get some Arcane Spirit Shields going. Not something I've flipped in a while, actually. Been quite a while since I've touched the Arcane Spirit Shields. Could have a decent margin for us today, though. Who knows? Hopefully it flips pretty quickly. I'm someone who likes speed with my flips and not necessarily large margins. If something's buying and selling quickly, in my opinion, that's a better situation than a large margin. The reason I think that is because the quicker you flip an item, the quicker you clear up inventory slots, or excuse me, Grand Exchange slots, and the more quickly you can flip new items, right? So, anyway. Glad to hear. Love this stream. Oh, thanks, man. Do appreciate it. We also have me saying he plays every once in a while, but it's such a grind, it takes up a lot of time. Dude, 100%, man. That's kind of why I stopped playing the main game for the most part, even though I do love RuneScape as a game, as I love the team behind it. Development team is very transparent. They do a lot for the community that loves the game as well, but it does take up a lot of freaking time, and I spend a lot of time on RuneScape myself. I mean, mostly trading items at this point, but either way, I really like it. Oh, I forgot to sell these superior Dragon Bones back, by the way. We'll let those do their thing. We're just sitting back, waiting for some flips to buy and sell. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Let me know what you're flipping today, if you've had a lot of luck on the Grand Exchange as well. Always curious to know how you guys are making gains, and what are your gains? Are you someone who's focused on high volume items, or maybe you're hunting high margin items? I'd love to learn more about you guys in my community. So I know a lot of you come back, a lot and watch these streams, and I'm so grateful of that. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Where are you from? Where are you watching the stream from? Literally anything, man. I'd love to get to connect with you a little bit better and learn about you as a player, as a person, whatever it is. Anyway, just sitting back waiting for some of these flips to come through, taking a little bit of time, but not a big deal, man. Me says, yeah, the flipping is a lot of fun. I mostly just sit around the Grand Exchange when I play the game. See? That's the problem I have, man. Mohammed says, free-to-play stuff at the moment, but made 700k to 2 mil so far. Wow, dude, that's really good, Mohammed. In free-to-play, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. Trio Zero says, Cannonballs and Burnt Pages had a 5 GP profit on Cannonballs today. Actually, we could give the Burnt Pages a try, but I will be wrapping up somewhat shortly, so anyway. We'll try to flip a few in the short term. Why not? since we have these extra grand exchange slots open as well, we're going to go back and try to sell them, or just sell the items that are coming in as well. Mohammed says, on free-to-play, there was this interesting dude running around begging for a gilded skimmy. Yeah, like you're going to get that on free-to-play, right? Even on a members world, you wouldn't even get that from someone. Twitch channel 3 says, what on God's green earth is on your head? Yo, it's a party hat, man. Look how far it sits back on my head. It literally will not fall off, dude. Like, anyway. Good to see your Twitch channel, man. Thank you for stopping in today. Hopefully you are enjoying the stream. And if you are, definitely drop us a follow, man. We're always live streaming flipping, okay? If you love flipping in RuneScape as much as I do, then definitely join us. Lewinteg says, do you ever dabble with the Ring of Endurance? I have in the past. I will say I have not flipped it in maybe about 6 months or so, but it's an interesting one because it's Twitch channel 3 with the follow, man. Thank you, dude. It's an interesting one though, Lewinteg, because the Ring of Endurance only comes into the game one way, right? So any item that only has one entry like point into the game, it sounds weird to say that, is usually an item that tends to be a great flip, but it tends to be a little bit lower volume. And the Ring of Endurance is like, no one really knows what the value of that thing is, man, besides the currently reflected grand exchange price, right? So it's always an interesting situation on that item. I always am like, the thing is, it's a good item, but I always default to other items because they seem a little bit safer, if that makes sense. Count says, those orbs helped out big time, 25 GP margin on Earth orbs. Wow, nice job, Count. Hopefully you secured that into the stack and you didn't lose any more of that. Should 100% get one of those party hats, will boost gains by 200%. I can't guarantee the results on that, but if you say so. We did get the Arcane Spirit Shield off, which brought us to a 6.1 mil profit. I'm going to leave it for another 2 minutes or so, see if we can sell the rest of them. Hopefully we can get a Scythe as well before the end of the stream, but who knows? We might get it, we might not get it. So we'll have to see. That's the thing with flipping, right? It's so inconsistent that every time you're flipping, it's a mystery. And I like that. I mean, it's like Scooby-Doo out here. We're trying to solve some mysteries, man. And the mystery isn't really a mystery, though. It's kind of a margin, and I'd like to get them as quickly as possible so I can make my profit. Slowly waiting for these flips to come through, man. Super simple day today. Actually, pretty relaxed stream for the most part. Got kind of hype when we started bringing in a lot of profits. I'm just happy, like, such a bad session turned around and became such an amazing session at the end. I mean, it's always really fun when stuff like that happens, right? You're having a really tough session, then one item just gets hot for you, man, and it keeps bringing you profits, you keep flipping it over and over, and it just turns a bad session into a great session. I mean, no one can be sad about that. By New York Ancient says, hop in the margin machine, we're gonna solve some mysteries. Are you kidding me? That's so funny, actually. Someone put that on, like, some image, okay? And send it to me. That'd be amazing. Killer Kiss says, can you say some basics for me to start flipping, what plugins needed, etc.? I've never flipped, and I want to try to start. Killer Kiss, let me give you 2 easy recommendations right off the bat. First, join us on Discord. I walk people through the very basics of flipping literally all the time in there. I'd highly recommend doing it. I know everyone tries to promote their Discords and stuff like that, but mine can help you, I promise. Second, some basic stuff. Only stick to high volume items when you're starting out. So any item that is very frequently traded on the Grand Exchange, things like blood runes, death runes, anything that has a very high volume on the exchange. Zolver scales, sharks, monkfish, mana rays, any consumables, things are really high volume. Now, when you're starting out, if you buy and sell a quantity of an item, right? So for example, if we bought and sold a blood rune, we instantly bought it and we instantly sold it, that would tell us the margin on the item. The margin is the difference between the buy and the sell price, and every time you trade the item, that's how much money you're going to be making, is the margin. So for example, if you buy a blood rune for 300 GP and you sell it for 302 GP, that is a 2 GP margin, and every blood rune you buy and sell from then on is going to profit you a 2 GP margin, right? Because you can buy them for 300 and sell them back for 302. So that's the simple, like, very basics of it. I did a very, very beginner's flipping guide that I put out on my channel pretty recently, and I highly recommend going and checking that out. Join us on Discord if you want me to send it to you, but otherwise you can find it on my YouTube channel by searching, I think it's like Are you new to flipping? Click on this video. I think that's like the title of the video. Anyway, it came out within the past couple of weeks. I'm sure you'll see it. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up here today. We went a little bit longer than I expected today, an hour and 30 minutes. We're currently averaging 4.3 mil an hour at this price point, which is crazy. You guys can see that over on the right there. Really, really good gains right there, man. Very happy about that. And, really good gains. Can't really complain about it. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in today. Join us on Discord if you're new around here. Give us a follow on Twitch or a subscription on YouTube. And definitely, please, drop a like on this video. It really helps me out a lot. Gets my content up there with some other great YouTubers. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Wednesday for our next flipping session. Peace, and see you next time.